So that's what I liked is, we struggle and we can say, I struggle and this is hard and that's why we're here. And so Sierra with that was able to, go another day, go another 2, go another week, but we're here as a journey. So Julia, do you mind introducing yourself? I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm Julia Blankenship. I live in Wichita, Kansas. Right now I'm in Provo, Utah, helping my daughter-in-law. She's getting ready to have a baby in a month or 2. And so we're just kind of pre-prepping meals and getting life good for her. But so I knew I was going to be out here for about 2.5 weeks. So I just packed up all my food, put it each day in a Ziploc bag. And, as the day begins, I just grab a bag out of the suitcase and they're doing the GAPS diet. I don't know if anybody's heard of that because my son has Crohn's disease. And so it goes perfect, absolutely perfect with what I'm doing because they're very lean and green with the meat meal that I get to do. So it's working out really good.
Great. That's awesome. Thank you. And her daughter is in our ward. That's how we connected. So. Well, I will let Annette go ahead and share her phenomenal story. And I have a few that are not on the call, so no pressure, but it's recorded. And your story is going to impact and touch a lot of lives. I just want you to know that.
Not a very good picture, Annette.
Oh, great. I could have, done my hair or makeup or something if I'd have known that. But my story is in January of this year, I got really sick and I was in the hospital for about a week and I had several things wrong with me. I had bronchitis, I had diabetes, I had anemia, my kidneys didn't work. There was tests that they were not able to run on me to find out what was wrong with me because my kidneys were so low functioning. Anyway, so when I got out of the hospital, I thought, I've got to do something. This is do or die. And so I contacted Tanya. In fact, I think I'd been in touch with Tanya about it before, but I just was not serious about it. And she came and she gave me the talk and told me how to use the food. And so I started on it, and I was very, very dedicated. I quit my Pepsis, and that's like really major for me. Anyway, I just really stayed with the program and started feeling good. But I went to the doctor, to the kidney specialist, and my numbers had even gone lower. And I was really depressed, and I thought, what am I going to do? I'm just going to never see my grandkids grow up. I mean, I was really struggling, but I stayed on it. The next month that I went to the kidney specialist, my points, which is my GFR factor, had gone up 11 points, which is almost like unheard of. In fact, my family physician told me, yeah, you could probably go up a couple of maybe 4 points, from where I'm at. But my kidney specialist basically said, that the only thing was down from there. And at that point, I was just a few points away from the very last stage. And at the last stage, of course, they do the, dialysis, and they start hitting up all the relatives for kidneys. And, this is where I was at. And I just remember crying the whole way home saying, what am I going to do? And I just decided, okay, I'm going to come home and I'm going to get my life in order, and then what comes, comes. So then when my points went up 11 points, I know that it was because of this program that I was on. And so I stayed on it, and I had an appointment a week ago with my doctor. In May, my GFR, which is that kidney function, was 23. When I went last week, it was 31. So I am no longer inches away from the last stage. I am now in the third stage. And so I'm really pleased about that. There's also it's called a creatinine level, and it's supposed to be 1.0. In August, it was 2.9. And last week, it was a 1.7. So I am steadily improving in lots of areas. The only side effect of this is I have now lost 30 pounds. So I am very pleased that I have this community to share with and to be a part of in my health struggle. And the weight loss is great too.
You've been looking a little better too.
Thanks.
Does anybody have questions for her about diabetes or anything that they can think of?
Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off. I forgot to say that I went from 35 units a day down to 15 units now of insulin. So.
A small little detail.
Just a
Yeah,
small
it's amazing.
one.
And tell us about your eyes and how they have improved.
Okay, so about 3 or 4 years ago, my eyesight started declining. And when I went in, they said, you need to go to a specialist. So I went to a specialist, and I have what is called macular edema. So basically, the little tiny vessels in my eyes are bleeding, while they're bleeding. And it causes a lot of pressure, and so that pressure was making me not be able to see. Everything was fuzzy, or if I could focus in on it, then I could only see. It wouldn't focus anymore. I'd have to look away and come back and focus. Yeah, didn't get a whole lot of reading done that year. But they started giving me shots in my eyes to shrink the swelling so that these blood vessels would quit bleeding. I did shots for 2.5 years, not much success, a little bit. They also went in and lasered some of the bigger blood vessels. There?
It's still here, yep.
Okay, sorry, I had a call. Anyway, so they went in and cauterized, and it did improve my vision, but not much. Since I've been on this diet, I went back to a different specialist, and he took the pictures behind my eyes and everything, and he goes, oh, I can see where you have had problems in the past, but it's all healed up. You now have 2 cataracts, and we can remove those really easy. So hopefully I'll be getting my vision back as well. So I guess I'm just grateful. I don't know how else to explain how I really feel except grateful that I found this program and was able to learn some better habits of health.
So when were you diagnosed with the diabetes?
I have had diabetes I've been on insulin for 10 years, but
Okay.
I had gestational diabetes with my last child,
Okay.
and she's 23, and I was able to control it mostly with diet until 10 years ago.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's great that you're doing so well. That's amazing.
yeah, it, I just feel like shouting it from the rooftops, but a lot of people are just really stubborn and resistant to, yeah, sure, you know, you're gonna eat this food for the rest of your life. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna eat it till I feel really, really good, and then I'm gonna start eating better food. Eating my food better. That's what I want to say.
Absolutely. And just like all of us, we have to have a motivation. And sometimes when we lose motivation, we have to have support. And so that's where, I'm trying to form this community where we all see that we all have a story and our story can empower each other. It's not the same story. We all have a different story, but with our stories, we have emotions and we have purpose and we have, reason to be doing this, and we all can sympathize with that. So, like I say, Sierra is young and realized she was young and didn't want to start to suffer, and some of us realized it in our later years, and we want to continue how we're doing it. So I don't think that there's any aspect where we don't want a better lifestyle for us or for other people. So, Annette as well, for those of you that don't know, she also lost her husband just recently. And, with all of this, she is amazing how she continues to push forward and see that, she stepped up her game even more. She's got to be here for her kids and for her grandkids. And none of this has, thrown her off the wagon where it hasn't been unbearable for her. She's
I
here.
just forgot to tell you about those days. But I'm still working at it.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, I just love to know that she's still, and the fact that she has a story and can share that is, I think, if I speak for her, Annette, but I think that gives you a lot of reason to wake up sometimes, is to be able to help somebody else that might be going through this journey as well.
Yep.
So, anybody else have any suggestions or comments or anything for each other? We're all at a different stage, but sometimes if we have questions or anything, now's the time to ask.
Well, I'm 4 weeks tomorrow.
Awesome.
So, and I'm thoroughly enjoying this because it's very doable. It's very, very doable.
And Julia does not have a scale, so she cannot wait to get home and surprise herself. So we're
That's
all
right.
excited for that. Tell us what your numbers were after 2 weeks, though.
I had lost 10 pounds after 2 weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah, she is amazing. She's also the Relief Society president and has a very full plate. So for her to say it's doable with her schedule, it's pretty impressive.
So it's just getting the water. That's, especially being away from home. When I'm at home, getting the water in is pretty easy. But here, when we're going and doing a lot, it's just, so I'm concentrating on that.
Yes.
The water was hard for me also. I ended up putting doTERRA oils in it just to give it some flavor so that I would want to drink it.
Uh-huh.
And now it doesn't even faze me. So that part will come.
Yeah. Well, it's not the taste. I don't mind water. It's just remembering to keep drinking. And then, of course, the bathroom night, the late night bathroom runs.
Yeah. Well, I finally figured out Don't drink anything after 6 o'clock.
There you go.
Get it in before 6.
Yeah, and I had to remind Julia, our water should be about 80 to 100 ounces as a minimum. So we think we're doing well until we match that up with actually measuring it out. And so that alone is going to increase our energy, increase our metabolism, increase our weight loss, all of that just by stepping up our water, which is free and easy, to do as long as we carry it with us.
Yeah. All the time.
So let's do a quart.
Anybody have any tips on, besides flavoring your water, how do you get your water in?
Well, I have recess duty at 10 o'clock every day. So I try to have 2 of my bottles drank by 10 o'clock. And then the rest of the day I just sip on it, and I'm pretty good.
Okay.
Awesome.
I just, whatever, if you have, at your break time at work or whatever, just, make sure that you have so much water drank by that time. And then that'll help you keep on a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Since you're running around getting foods, then make sure you have it, your food's ready for the the baby that's coming. Just set you a time. Say, okay, I have to have 2 waters by the time, we do such and such. Or if you're going for a walk, make sure you have it done just before you go on your walk. Or, maybe you want to wait a little after your so you can actually go for a walk. But, just set you as something that's regular for you every day.
Yeah.
I know on Saturdays and Sundays I fail miserably with my water consumption because I'm off schedule. So,
Uncle Lamar, Aunt Sarah, are you working on your water? You're pushing your water, right?
Also, I can say is congratulations to all of you. The water is really difficult. I would get up and drink a quart right away. And then that would help, but it's hard. Just to remember.
Yeah. Well, and so I'm kind of cheating. What I do is as soon as I got here, I got 2 cases of bottled water, and then I just pull out how many ever I know I need, 4 or 5 for the day. And then, then I make sure that I get all of those down before I go to bed. So
awesome.
So that's, eventually I'll try and get me a container so I don't have to keep buying bottled water and stuff. But right now that works. So I'm going to keep doing it.
I love it. Yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, my uncle and aunt just got in a car wreck and they are recovering from that. So we have a lot of different people in this situation that are coming back gung-ho. So I appreciate you guys being on and your support for Annette and for all of us, because these are every Thursday at the same time, same place, same Zoom. Next week, I actually have a guest speaker that has been able to manage her fibromyalgia. So something that a lot of people cannot overcome or find a cure for. She actually is a young mom with 3 kids who does have a success story from fibromyalgia. So that's one that we might want to join and invite anybody too that we know struggles with that, because I've heard so many people that do struggle with it. And again, they can't find a cure for it, but I think that we know in a lot of ways that our food affects us in so many ways. So if we just change the way we eat, a lot of things show up differently in our lives. So I'm looking forward to her call.
They say there's no cure for it, but they said my kidneys wouldn't improve too. So,
Yes. And I think only us within the community that can feel it and see it and witness it ourselves are why we are so passionate about sharing it, because, they told me I needed a knee replacement and that arthritis isn't curable and stuff. And when you actually witness it I don't care what anybody says. I know that for a fact that it's not true. So I am going to share that with anybody I come in contact with. And I'm just grateful to be a part of that and be able to share and hear your guys' stories. So, Sierra, how do you get your water in?
Well, my schedule is all over the place. I have a different schedule every day. But what I've done is I just have a 1 liter water bottle. Like, I just buy them at work, and I have, like, the same one I'll use until I lose it or misplace it somewhere. And, I mean, because 1 liter, that's a pretty hefty amount of water. And I just carry that around with me while I'm at work or around home or classes or whatever. And as soon as that'll last me for, a while. And then as soon as I'm done, I just fill it back up, and it just kind of become an attachment. Like, it's just always with me while I'm at work or whatever.
Awesome.
So we all have no excuses, right? We all have a solution. Just kidding. Well, we had another guest join us. Pat, are you going to introduce yourself? He probably can't hear us, or he's lying to us that he can't. Just kidding. Okay, so next week will be, like I said, our guest speaker. She's actually from Utah, and I met her at a convention. So she's not part of our team, but she's willing to share it, which I am so thankful for, because the more people I think we reach out to and communicate with and find that there's other stories. Also, Julia's son, right, Julia, with Crohn's?
Yes.
And I found somebody who was just diagnosed with Crohn's, and she is going to share her story with us in 2 weeks. So
That'll be great.
Looking forward to fibromyalgia next week and Crohn's the next. And by then, we're going to continue to follow up with you guys and where you're at, if that's all right.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you. You guys all have a great night.
Good to meet y'all.
Good night, everyone.
You too. Bye.